welcome to my channel. For those who are new, my name is Sarita, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my pros and cons of living in Atlanta. I no longer live in Atlanta, but I do want to still share this with you guys because I know a lot of people are flocking to Atlanta, and I just want to go ahead and share my experience for those who have any questions or for those who need a little guidance when it comes to coming and moving to Atlanta. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna start with the pros because I just feel like that's the best way to start a video, with some positivity. And so my first pro of living in Atlanta is there is plenty of transportation. So a lot of people I have seen in videos say that, oh, if you come to Atlanta, you absolutely have to have a car, need to have a car. I do not agree with that. I think that if you come to Atlanta, that you will save a lot of money and you will save yourself from accidents if you do not bring a car. When I first moved here, I had a car, and then eventually I got rid of the car because I just felt like I wanted to save more money, and I'm a homebody for real. So I don't really go anywhere like that. And so I just felt like it was pointless of me to be paying this crazy amount of car insurance and this car note when I'm not going anywhere like that. And so when I got rid of my car, I was saving hundreds of dollars a month. I was able to invest in other things that were really important to me and take care of debt and things like that. So I don't think you need a car when you come here. You can have one, it's great, but if you're gonna be in Atlanta, like the city, Midtown, downtown Atlanta, everything is in close proximity. And then you can take an Uber or a Lyft somewhere if you need to go a little further out. But if you're a homebody and you really don't go anywhere like that, and you're not really trying to be outside like that, then you absolutely do not need a car. There's plenty of transportation. We got the train, we got Uber, we got Lyft, we got the bus stations. There's bus stations even on the outskirts of Atlanta. So there's plenty of transportation here, and I think for a day pass like $5 or something like that. But if you go online to the transportation website, I don't remember it. If you go and you look online, you can buy a pass, and you can do it monthly, weekly, or daily, and it will save you way more money if you're okay with doing that. And especially if you're from New York. So a lot of people are moving here from New York and they're used to riding a train or buses and things like that. Then I've heard some horror stories about them buses, so you will be just fine here. No worries, you will be fine. Another thing I love about being in Atlanta is that there's always something to do, and there's something for everyone to do here. So whether you're a nature person, whether you like arts and crafts, whether you like music, there's always something that you can do. There's never a night that you can't go out and do something. So depending on what your vibe is, I love that. I love that even if you're introverted, extroverted, there's always something for you to do here, and that will accommodate you. Another thing I love about living in Atlanta is there are a lot of churches here. And so I am a Christian, so that was very important for me when moving to Atlanta. And so no matter what religion you are, there are all types of churches here with all type of nationalities. Like there's Korean churches, there's Scientologist churches, there's Pentecostal, Apostolic, Baptist, whatever your thing is, they have that here. And there's a lot of communities here that you can immerse yourself in and that you can grow with if you are diligent and if you are asking God for the wisdom and discernment to, pick the right place. I'm sure that when you go to churches, you feel out the vibes and you see, how things are going and things like that, and God will direct you if you, pray about it and everything. But I love that about it. There's a lot of church communities here, and so it's just up to you to really take it upon yourself to get to know people. 70% of people here are to themselves, but if you go and introduce yourself, they're very friendly. So I think that you need to get out of your comfort zone just a little bit when it comes to getting to know people. Like if you just expect people to just walk up to you and get to know you, it can happen because there's, some extroverts, but still, I would encourage you to try to step outside of your comfort zone and introduce yourself. Another thing that I love about living here is that there's a lot of business owners of color. And so where I'm from, I did not see that a lot. And so it was so inspiring to see that here. It even encouraged me to start my own business. So I love that. I love to see my people in, positions of power. It's so motivating. And I think that anybody that comes here, you'll be motivated as well, no matter where you come from or, what your skin color is, nationality, things like that. I just love that this is the place where you can make your dreams come true if you decide to do it. You just got to put in the work, get the networking, and there's something here for everybody, especially in business. And to piggyback off of that, Another thing I love about it here is that there's lots of opportunities. No matter what you're into, there's always something for you here. Like they have coding, they have really great schools here. Whatever you want to do, there's lots of opportunities, acting, all of that. So, just pick your thing and come on down because there's something for everybody here. And if you take advantage of the opportunities presented to you, then, it's a good thing. And so just be careful though, because some people do pretend to be things and businesses that they're not. And you just got to watch out for that. But of course, I'm sure that's like anywhere, especially in LA. A lot of people are aware of that, and you just got to check people's background and make sure that they are who they say they are. But nonetheless, there are a lot of opportunities here. Another thing that I love about being in Atlanta, and if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes. Another thing I love about being in Atlanta is that there's a lot of balance here. So if you want to live in the city and then travel outside on the outskirts to do like different fun things, like going to a cabin or going to I think I'm gonna pronounce it wrong. I think it's called Chateau. It's a different part of Georgia, Chateau, where it's like a wine tasting. Forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. Please don't, kill me in the comments. But that, like, there's just balance. So for me personally, I like to live on the outskirts, so like way out somewhere. And then when I want to step into the city or go to an event, I like to like make it an event. So I get dressed and I drive out there and then I come back home because I'm not really a city girl. I like peace and quiet, nature, things like that. But I do like every now and again, like maybe once or twice a month, I like to get dressed up and I like to go in the city and just explore and just see all the new things that they've built, new businesses, and support the Black-owned businesses out there. Like, I like to make it an event. So I'm more of an outskirt girl now, but when I was in the city, I loved that aspect of it. Another thing that I absolutely loved about living in Atlanta is that there is so much culture and diversity. Like, they're very accepting of whoever comes here, and so it's not like weird or like they're not looking at you weird just because if I'm not mistaken, I think the majority of the people that live in Atlanta are African American. I could be wrong, but that's what it feels like because everywhere I look is us. So I love that too. That's another reason why I decided to stay in Atlanta, is because I've never seen that, especially where I'm from. Like, it was very like, it was mixed. Like, it was Black people there, but most of the people that were not Black were in places of power, and I just never seen Black people the way that I seen them here, and it just blew my mind and just really motivated me in a different way. Just very inspiring. Another thing that I love, and this is kind of being a little diluted because people are coming from all over, so it's like a melting pot now. Some people conform to this way when they come here and some people don't. But I love how hospitable people are here. There have been strangers that have helped me with so many different things. Like, I was on a highway and I was just stranded, and it was scary because, men, you just never know. But this guy just came and asked me if I was okay and began to help me with my car. Even the police officer, I had a flat. Most police officers don't really care about stuff like that. But he saw me in the parking lot and he came over and just volunteered to help me. And he was a white guy too. So, I try not to judge people based on their skin color and things like that. But of course it's hard because of the experience that we may have gone through. But here, everybody, like a lot of people, all color palettes are very hospitable and they like to help out. There's even been a time where I remember being at Walgreens. Something happened with my car. I can't remember what happened. And this lady gave me the rest of the money to fix the car. I think it was like tires or something, and something was going on with tires, and they said they couldn't fill it up and it needed to be replaced, and I didn't have the money, and I'm like, I can't get home. I don't have nothing right now. Like, I was struggling, and so this young lady was just like, here, baby girl, I got you. Just take it. And I was like, wow, like, these people are just amazing. And so that is something that I love about living in Atlanta. They are very hospitable and they care and they're loving and they're just really nice. Another thing I love about living in Atlanta is that it's close to Florida. Now, I love Florida so much because I love the beach. I love water. I love nature, period. So just going to the beach is just it's so peaceful for me and it allows me to recharge. And so I absolutely love going to the beach. It's about a 5-hour drive, 4 hours if you a little speedy. going to Florida if you want to go to the beach and things like that. But love that it's close to there, because when I was living back home in the Midwest, of course, no beach is like really that close. So love that. Love that the beach is close by. Another thing I love about being in Atlanta, that there is not a lot of snow. They don't snow here a lot, but it does get cold here. So don't think you don't need to bring a coat. Definitely bring a coat here, because it does get pretty nippy. Like just I think recently in Atlanta it was like 9 degrees or something like that, and that's very abnormal. It usually gets low like in the 20s, 30s and things like that, but when I was in Atlanta, I don't remember it ever being that low. So definitely bring a nice jacket. One is fine, and then of course throughout the rest of the year you can probably get away with wearing a jacket, especially if you're used to cold climates like me. I'm from the Midwest, so 9 degrees is like, okay, I'm used to being below 20 and stuff like that. So it was really never really a big deal to me in regards to the weather being cold and it's snowing here. Like when it snows here, it's like drizzle. It's like it melts pretty much as soon as it hits the ground, and they go crazy about it too. And I think it's just because they're not used to it snowing here. I mean, back home, when it snowed, the snow could be up to your knees. You still going to school. You might have an hour delay, but you're going to go to school. Here, if it just drizzle a little bit of snow, they shut the whole city down. Schools, you can't go to school, can't go to work, none of that. So, yeah, I love that there's no snow here. Trying to get away from the cold and love the weather. Another thing that I love, that there are lots of fit communities here. So if you're somebody who likes to work out, you will be very motivated when you come here, because a lot of people just look really, really good here with their physique. Now, of course, a lot of people have bought their bodies, which, no judgment. But even those people, it encourages you to work out and get your body in shape. And a lot of gyms here are like clubs. Like, depending on where you go, it's like the atmospheres can very much vary. So just, be careful when picking your, gyms that you go to, because the vibes are like, you just never know what they're going to be. And I've been to pretty much all the gyms in Atlanta. So like, if you want me to do a video about the different vibes and gyms of Atlanta, just let me know in the comments below. I may do that if I get enough, people that want to hear that, because yeah, child, and it get messy too. Some gyms is like gangs, like they got red versus blue, like it's a whole thing. So I mean, if you are in Atlanta or you've been online, then you kind of know what I'm talking about, and I don't really have to like go deep into that. And I won't go deep into like the messiness of it all, but yeah, the gyms are very interesting here, I must say. Now I'm done with all of my pros. Let me go ahead and do the cons now. So of course, number one on everybody's list is the traffic. I hate the traffic here, hence why I got rid of the car and everything. It's very frustrating. It's very irritating. People do not know how to drive. People are not considerate on the road. So you definitely have to make sure that you are a defensive driver, that you're driving for yourself and other people, and that you're paying attention on these roads, because these people do not care, especially the out-of-towners coming in from like different places where they're not used to driving, like New York. It just gets really crazy. And if you're a person who has road rage, don't bring your road rage here, because you will get shot. So just be careful out there for sure. Another thing I don't like, and of course this is kind of worldwide, like all over the world, you just never know. This pretty much is, like I said, all over. Racism. I don't like the racism here, specifically in Cobb County. I did live in Cobb County for a short period of time, and at certain times of the day, for me is like at nighttime usually, they will just pull you over for no reason. I've never got pulled over anywhere except for Cobb County. So just be careful when you're out that way. Be careful in Kennesaw. Be careful in certain parts of Stone Mountain. You can look up the history of Stone Mountain in regards to people of color, and you'll, find out some information about that. But yeah, just I don't like that, and I just wish it could, not be so prevalent in those areas. But hey, racism is everywhere, so it's not really something that you can like escape fully, but it's just something I don't really care too much for here. Another thing, and I hope nobody gets upset with me about this, but I gotta be honest. So another thing that I don't really like about being in Atlanta, which is also why I'm moving back to Florida next year when my lease is up, because I absolutely love Florida, love the culture, love the people. Like, Florida is everything. Look at me blushing about Florida. But no, I hate the lack of quality men here. And I say that take that with a grain of salt, because depending on what you are looking for, you may find exactly, you know, what you're looking for or whatever. But me, I've had luck once, and so grateful for that when it comes to dating here. But a lot of people here are not really looking to settle down or, you know, build a family or anything like that. It's more so just they're just looking to have fun. And I get it. When you're young, you know, that's what you want to do. I'm young too, but I have a very, very old soul. So I'm not really into the games like that. I'm not into the casual dating or anything like that. So if you're looking for that here, you kind of have to be intentional about making yourself be seen. And that could attribute to also why I may not have run into the quality people, because I don't go out that much. And so when I do go out, the people that do approach me, I'm usually disappointed and like confused as to like why they even approach me. I'm like, do I look like, and I get it, like no matter what you look like, people are gonna approach you. Like just like flies, they'll go land on some poop and eat the poop, and they go land on some honey and eat the honey. So I had to realize that it's not a me thing. It's not like I'm ugly or, you know, something like that. It's just like people just gonna try, you know, they're gonna try you, and it's just up to you to accept it or not. Definitely make sure that you are putting yourself in the spaces that you want to be in to meet the person that you're looking for. So if you're looking for a wholesome person, you're not going to find them like in the club, in the bar. Not saying something's wrong with going to those places, but I mean, I think that's just common sense. Like, you know, the environment that you meet somebody in tends to be, you know, the type of person that they are. And if you're not that type of person, you shouldn't be in that environment, and you shouldn't be, you know, expecting to meet someone of quality in that environment. And so I'm sure out here, especially with, you know, people coming from all over the world to Atlanta, there will or are more quality people here now. But I've just gotten to a point where I don't even care to look anymore, or like be like thinking about it and out, like just trying to, you know, be seen and hoping that someone will of quality come my way. I that kind of got old for me, so I just stopped doing that. And now I'm just to a point where I am at peace with my singleness, honey. And I'm not necessarily looking to date right now, because I'm so focused on, you know, my purpose and what God's calling me to do and all that stuff. So that is really where my mind is right now. But of course, like if somebody comes up to me, and I'm open to dating, but it's not really a priority, and it's not something that I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to find the one. Oh my gosh, why can't I find? Girl, it's like at this point, you're going to have to be very convincing to take me out of my zone, to take me out of my contentness of singleness, because I am loving it. I'm loving it, especially with seeing like how hard marriages are and things like that. I definitely desire to get married someday, but child, it's work. It's work, and I ain't trying to, you know, move too fast, because yeah, it's a lot, but open to it, especially, you know, with the right person, of course. Another con, and this should have been number one. Well, this should have been number two because the traffic is trash, but this should have been number two. I hate with a passion the lack of customer service from the hairstylists here, specifically the hairstylists. They are absolutely ridiculous when it comes to the rules and regulations that they have on their website. They give you this whole dissertation of all of this bucket list of rules. I'm like, listen, ma'am, I'm not about to read all of this. I'm not about to, no, ma'am. And then they have the nerve to enforce that, oh, if you're late, you have to pay 50%, or you have to pay extra $20, or this will be deducted. But 9 times out of 10, literally every stylist that I went to here, outside of one, which are the Dominicans, I went in very, very customer service friendly, got me in and out of there, and gave me the best silk press I ever had in my life. This one right here. It's a little old, but I got my hair done from the Dominicans for the first time, and I'm never going back to anybody else but them. But yeah, customer service here is trash, and they charge way too much money. Like, sis, you're charging me $300 for a silk press? Are you dumb? Are you serious? Like, no ma'am, no thank you. So yeah, be careful with that. If you got the money to do it, then hey, go for it. Just know that 9 times out of 10 they're gonna ask you to have your hair washed when you come, and I'm like, you're charging me $300, but you want me to wash my hair? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I will go bald before I start, you know, throwing away my money or get robbed like that again. It's the norm here, and people, it's going to continue to happen if people give their money to these people who don't have any customer service. Like, they think just because their work is good that they can treat you any kind of way, that they can show up any kind of time. Like, no, I'm not going to take that. I'm not going to deal with that. So as you can see, I'm very passionate about that. I hate it. So yeah, that's definitely something that I don't like. So if you are a hairstylist and you are nice and you have good customer service, I would love to support you. Leave your link down below. But if you're not, don't leave your link, because I'm going to tell. Okay? All right. Another thing that I don't like is that there are not a lot of Puerto Rican restaurants here. And so I was spoiled living in Florida because there's so many Puerto Rican places there. So much culture there to eat. And I love a lot of Puerto Rican dishes. But I hate that there's not a lot here. I do know where all of them are because that's something I love. And all the Dominican places too, because I love Dominican food. I love Caribbean food, period. I wish they had more Puerto Rican places here. The thing I don't like about living here is that people do not control their kids. Like, there are 13, 14-year-olds pulling up at Lennox, robbing people, just all sorts of things like that. I don't like that. I miss how Lennox used to be. Used to be a very safe place, used to be fun, used to be a vibe, but now nobody wants to go there. It's really just like a tourist place now. And so now everybody goes to Phipps, they'll go to shops at Buckhead, or they'll go to Avalon. And I'm an Avalon girl. Love going to Avalon. It's very peaceful, very, you know, the vibes are good. But I just hate how people are just not raising their kids to be well-mannered. You know, they just let their kids run and roam, probably have no idea that their child has a gun, probably have no idea what their kid is up to. And I think most of it is mainly probably because the parents are probably kids themselves, or like very young themselves, like 26, 27, 21, who knows, like. But I just really wish that we could get a better hold on that here, because I feel like if we did, then it would be a safer place. All right, my last con about living in Atlanta is the pricing of the rent. So after the pandemic happened, there was this huge inflation that happened, and the rent is just so high now. It got so high that people were protesting in Atlanta, trying to come to a resolution for this rent being so high. And I feel them, and it impacted me too, you know, when I was there. And it's just a lot, and especially because of the quality of what they're giving. So I can understand if I pay $1,400 for a one bed and it's really nice and it's clean, it's new, it's renovated. But if I'm paying $1,400 for a apartment that was built in the 70s and that has stains on the ceiling from when it was leaking and stuff, like, that's disrespectful. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, it's not worth what you're asking for. That type of apartment is worth $900 at the most. So I don't like that. I don't like that they just like rob you like that. And it's really everywhere. Unless you go to like the hood. And if you're okay with, you know, living in that type of environment and you can, you know, maneuver in that type of environment, then go for it. Do your thing, especially the men. The men, y'all got it good. Y'all can just go wherever y'all want to go. Yes, it's, you know, dangerous too, but most men know how to protect themselves. You know, some women, you know, they know how to protect themselves too. But yeah, if you want to live in that atmosphere, then you can, and it is more affordable. But that's just, I left that atmosphere when I came to Atlanta to get away from that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, I'm getting sleepy, so thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helps you decide on if you want to move to Atlanta. However, if you have any questions for me, please leave them down below. I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. And thank you so much again for watching my video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.